What is up, everybody? This is Corey James of Carbon Stone, and you are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars.
What is up, everybody? You are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. I am your host, JT, and I am joined by indie community rock star over here of the podcast world, MelanyNyx of the NYXUS podcast.
What's
Mel,
up, JT?
How the hell are you doing?
I'm nervous. I'm good. I'm not used to being on this side. Give me back my chair, JT.
I was listening to the podcast that you did on me almost a year to the day, which is kind of crazy. I was so freaking nervous. I was stuttering like a motherfucker, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm running a podcast. Like, why am I doing this?
I mean, growth. The growth that we both have had in the last year is incredible. I mean, you have grown beyond Six Scars. I mean, with the podcast, with the band, with everything.
Yeah, it's it's a story I've not gotten to say on the podcast, but when you and me first talked is when the band actually initiated me as the lead singer, and it's crazy to think that in July we're doing our first show. It's just like it's all come full circle in a weird way, you know.
That's pretty amazing. That's like congrats.
Thank you. So I'm gonna kick this off in a little bit of a different way. Normally I'd ask you your beginnings and all that, but I wanted to know, you've recently had a hiatus from music, and I know you are slowly starting to dip your toe back into that with a track of ours that will actually have the demo. We'll have a little bit of a surprise, but you all got to wait around to see that one.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. So what has it been like coming back into the music world? You know, what's it been like getting your feelings back out?
I mean, I am scared. You don't even. I've been working on a song with Rob Volkov for over a year, and I just can't get vocals on it. I don't know what I'm. It's like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I asked Rob, like, can we do covers? So to get back into it, Rob's gonna help me out, and we're gonna do a few covers.
Okay.
I stopped making music. What, 6 months, 7 months before I started the podcast? So it's a long time coming, but I needed to stop. I kind of needed my name to stop being associated with music for a bit, to be able to come back.
Yeah. That we don't have to get into that whole scenario tonight, but I know personally that story, and that's a hell of a story that you had to endure with that. But let me be the first to say that, you know, I am beyond, no pun intended, stoked to see you coming back to music, because I think you have such a unique and powerful voice. It's a shame that it got not silenced, but you had to step away for a while. So it's going to be great to hear you coming back.
Thank you. I mean, when I did that last song with Crossover, I mean, if you do your research, you're gonna find me everywhere. My face is everywhere, so I mean, it's not a secret. But when I did my last song, we sent it out to a bunch of people, and the feedback that came back was horrible. And I mean, horrible. It hit me right in the feelings. My ego was completely destroyed. I felt like a rock star, and at that moment when all the reviews came in, I was like, oof. And some friends, even friends, like I appreciate them for being so honest, because, you know, it's easier for people to be like, oh, it's amazing, and then laugh behind your back.
Yeah.
But these friends were actually really honest, and they were like, not your best work, you know, like it was pretty brutal. So I had to stop. I had zero confidence. I mean, even with Manda trying to, you know, build it back, but now we're coming back into the music world together, so I don't feel alone. So I mean, maybe it'll be more comfortable.
Well, you speaking of Amanda, you've done a song with her, a couple on the Southern Rituals, haven't you?
We did 2 covers.
Yeah.
There's another one in the works right now that Manda did. Um, I mean, that was pretty interesting because we did it. What smells like smoke for her, and it went right through, no problem. And then I did Creep. Unfortunately, my brain was like, "Hey, I'll do Creep. I like doing the harms, and there's so many versions of Creep out there that to get it that it doesn't sound like somebody else." So I actually bought the MIDI files and transformed everything into like an orchestra.
Ooh.
Mojo from Encircle Throne was kind of, yep. Shout out to him helping me out and explaining a few things. I really wanted to do it myself, and I did it. Does it sound 100%? No, I'm not a producer, but it was fun.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
So I'm gonna back it up here a little bit, and then let's find out a little bit about your early beginnings. What brought you to the dance? What gave you music?
Music was always a big part of my life. I mean, my mom always played music. My uncle, my grandparents used to live, like I used to live right above my grandparents. So, I was always downstairs at my grandparents' house, and my uncle would come in after partying and having a few beers, and he'd wake me up and give me a microphone and plug it in and just sing. And 4 years old, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was just singing my little heart out. But it was such a passion for me that I didn't care. I'd just go right back to bed after. I did my little performance, and then I went to bed. And it kind of stuck, and then it kind of not stuck, because, people can be mean. So being told, a bunch of shit that people could have told me and kind of destroy my confidence, I was like, okay, well, I played hockey. So it wasn't like a big, I played hockey for 12 years. I was a goalie. So, it's kind of traded music for a sport, and then I came back into music when I was too old to keep playing with my team.
Oh,
Yeah, I reached the age limit, and then they were like, okay, go on, you old lady, 21 years old.
Oh, come on.
That's okay. I went back to music.
That's very fair. And then when you were, before you were doing the podcast, if I remember correctly, you were on, was it, what was the website that you had told me? Was it was like karaoke covers, wasn't it?
It's a karaoke app. We're still on it. We sing once in a while.
Okay.
It was really hot throughout COVID because nobody else had nothing else to do but to sing. So I met some amazing people. I mean, we featured a girl from the UK on one of our songs with Crossover. We did a whole competition on the singing app, and she won. And she featured with me. So it was pretty cool. I mean...
Oh, yeah. What, so what was it like? I know you're not native to the U.S. If I remember correctly, you were born in Canada?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was the difference in music like? Because for me, like, I don't know exactly how the culture was there. So what was it like?
I mean, the music where I was, like the city where I was in, is a big city. So the music was very, very varied. So, we could go... I saw Black Veil Brides, I saw In This Moment, I saw Celine Dion, I saw, it's and down here, it's more country, I'm in the South, so a lot of country bands, but then I found this metal community, holy shit, the indie metal community around here, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, like, wow, these bands are incredible.
They really are, and you've done a great service for over 100 episodes now with the independent community. Like, I mean, anybody who's listening to this in the future, if you haven't already checked out the NYXUS podcast, like what are you doing with your life? Have you lived under a rock? This woman here is one of the biggest reasons that Six Scars landed the way it did. I always say when anybody asks me, it's like, I credit Danny Mazzeo, badass that he is. He was the very first podcast interview I ever did, and then you were the next one. And between you two, you helped elevate me, but not just me. You helped elevate so many other people. And here's the key words: for free.
Yes.
That this is all not for profit. Obviously, you'll take donations just like we all will, because this does take time and effort and everything else to do, but you're doing it from your heart, and it's so fucking rare to see that anymore. And like, I can't give you enough praise for that. I really can't.
Well, thank you, JT. I mean, I couldn't sing anymore. There was a blockage there, but I wanted to still be involved. And I mean, I have to shout out to Danny Rose for sure, because the podcast started with Chaotic Rose. Chaotic Rose was the baby of Danny Rose. Unfortunately, life got busy for everybody, and my podcast is the only podcast that really took off. We had the magazine at one point, and then NYXUS magazine came out, and then everybody got too busy. I got to run radio, magazine, podcast. I was like, and then photography, because ADHD brain, you just keep adding stuff, which the photography was a blessing. I met Danny through my NYXUS photography page, because we did the Strike the Tower red carpet together, so I met Danny there.
That was like watching Avengers Endgame for me. Seeing the picture of you two side by side, I was like, this is a fucking Easter egg from the independent community, if ever there was one.
I mean, when I put the picture and you tagged him, I was like, holy shit, JT knows him. Wow, that's, because you're not far, but you're not, from here. So I was like, okay, so what is it? Is it the pit? Because they have the Icon pit. It's, I mean, incredible people in that family. I mean, they just had the Rooster Olympic yesterday. I couldn't go, so I'm pretty ticked about that. But there'll be other ones. Amanda had to work.
I was gonna say, I mean, you won't be able to make them all, but the ones you're making, I mean, holy mother of God, like, it seems like you're always going to a concert, and I'm over here, I'm so freaking jealous.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good venues, but for you've seen my interview with them. The Rooster is home for us. There's so many good shows, and tickets, I mean, $20 per, $15 if you get them in advance. And the drinks are reasonable priced. So, I mean, for a good night for two people, it's not that expensive. And then the festivals, I mean, $30, $20 for the tickets for a full day of music.
Oh, wow.
What costs you more is the food trucks, because you're not going to go to the food truck. It's there. And then they bring the bubble tea. You're going to go get one. And then they have all the vendors. Like, okay, so I have to go to festivals with a lot of money. We got blessed this year because the media passes and such. So, at least we get to go in for free. We take pictures. And then I send pictures to everybody for free, because I'm not a photographer. I'm not a professional. Shout out to so many photographers around me that are incredible. I mean, I look up to Mac Brown a lot. He's incredible, incredible. So, I mean,
well, also, while we're talking about, things that have kind of become your partnerships, tell us a little bit about Carolina Promotions and how that whole thing kind of came along, if you can.
Well, I mean, a lot of bands with a podcast are like, well, if you have an opportunity for me to come down there and do a show, let me know, you know? So I was like, okay, so I have like enough bands to make a festival. But it
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
work that way, you know what I mean? You can't have like 15 bands from out of town coming to here to make a festival, because then there's no traction. People are not going to come from all the way from Pennsylvania to see a band, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm learning. I'm still I'm still a baby partner, if we could say. They're doing most of the heavy lifting, most of the, I'm just kind of sitting back and just exploring. I don't want to restrict myself only to Carolina promotion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I can
Yeah.
help a band, I'm with the guys. I'm helping them out. I'm learning. They're teaching me. But anybody that would like to have a band, I mean, I'll share. There's no gatekeeping in this community. If I get to see my bands come down here, I'm gonna be really excited. So I don't really care who gets to bring them down here.
Uh, have you gotten to see Scars Remain yet?
Yes,
Oh my god, I'm so jealous right now. I had Travis Kazaya on a few weeks ago, and I absolutely fell in love with those guys. Like they're just so sweet.
absolutely. The beautiful thing about the podcast is that we get to meet a lot of people that we interview. The first one we met was Mindy Jackson from Dying Oath. And
Shout
then,
out
well,
Mindy.
Nestor was there back then, and
Yeah.
it was the previous lineup than they have now with Joey, and then after that it was just a trickle. You know what I mean? The second show we saw was Missy Wood.
Oh yeah,
Her
yeah.
her birthday bash last year, the first anniversary of the Rooster, and her birthday bash. That was the first show we saw, like, over there at the Rooster, and I was sold from that point on. Bruce Stock, and then the Almas, the Forever May Fall. I mean, I could probably sit here and name a lot of fucking bands, JT.
I mean, I'm sure you could, because like I said, you're over 100 episodes now, and it's been what, 3 years? 3 years since you started the podcast?
A year and almost 6 months.
No, 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 no. There's no way.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Right now, I'm doing one episode, maybe 2 episodes a week. If you go back to last year and you start looking, I have 3, 4 episodes a week.
I know.
At one point, I hit that peak, and that's where I got really overwhelmed. And I was like, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, it was just work, research, to the point where, Mando was like, can we spend time together? So, I kind of burnt myself out. And then I canceled a few episodes, and I was like, I gotta take a break. I'm exhausted. And then I realized that I'm not helping anybody if I'm burning myself out. And, I mean, these bands want an interview, but I'm not going to kill myself to do the interviews. I don't want this to sound bad, what I'm going to say, but we're not getting paid for this.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, the more time you invest, the more audience, the more, it trickles. And but I also have a family. I have 3 kids. So I can't just be in front of here, even if I would love to have an interview every night. But as you know, it's very taxing too. So
It, I, it's one of those things I really applaud you on, because when I first started, and here's a peek behind the curtain for the podcast, you're the one that told me not to overdo it, not to burn myself out, and because I was wanting to go guns blazing and just, like, as much as I could, because it's that new car smell, right? Like
yes,
you get it and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. And in all transparency, people, recently I reached a burnout point just from doing it weekly, because not that I don't love it, because I absolutely love it, and it gave me a whole new appreciation for what you were going through with it, because the burnout is real, because you're wanting to give your all to each guest that you have. So you're wanting to do all the research that you can. You're wanting to make sure that they are getting the correct shout outs to everything, because this is a extension of your brand, and it can very like easily become a game of like chess in your mind, where it's like, what are your priorities?
And sometimes you push, even physically. Even if you go back to the 100th episode, Juan from Let the Day Perish is there. And we talk about it. Episode 2 was them. At episode 2, I don't know what the hell I did. I pulled something in my back, in my shoulder. I could barely breathe. It stayed like that for 3 months. I was taking like gabapentin. Like I was, you know what I mean? And nothing was helping. I woke up one day and it stopped hurting. So I was like, okay, maybe it was just something that was pinched, or it's still hurting, but nothing. I couldn't breathe. Like if you go back to listen to that episode, you can hear me gasping. Like in between my questions, I mute myself because I was sitting here going, the guys were wonderful. Any episode with Juan, he talks like, so you ask one question and you can mute yourself for 30 minutes. Juan like loves to talk and share his stories. So I was blessed that night that the guys were just very talkative.
Absolutely.
They made it very easy for me.
Well, I mean, and that's like, I don't want to say the mark of a good guest, but when you can just pause it and let them do their thing and then just listen and then react, that's the greatest to me, because I'm like, this isn't work at all.
Exactly. It's just like a conversation. It's
Yes.
especially when there's 2 or 3 of them, they just kind of start bickering together. I love that. I love that
Yes.
shit. I try to do it on, especially with returning guests like Severed Angel.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they like to pick at each other, so I kind of do it on purpose and try to like pick, and we just have fun. Those guys are amazing. They're really cool guys.
Well, I got to ask you, just on a personal level, what was it like being able to overcome the thought of burnout? Because I mean, it's not easy to do, and I personally want to know what it was like.
Well, unfortunately, I'm somebody that burns out very easily. I don't sleep much. I don't rest much. I can't nap. I hate naps. It's like the older I get, the less I need to sleep. I used to laugh at like my mom and my grandma, but now I realize, holy shit, it's happening to me. I run off of 4 hours of sleep and I'm fine all day long. But then at one point it kind of catches up. And then when you put all the work that we do and the family so I constantly have burnouts. I am lucky to have somebody like Manda who catches on to that. I don't have to say anything. She comes in, the kitchen is messy, you know what I mean? There she is. See? Like,
Hey, you.
like the kitchen is messy, and she won't say anything. She'll just kind of pick up after me and kind of give me that boost. And after a few days, she's like, all right, you got to get up now, and you got to, she encourages me to. So there's a lot of stuff that I couldn't do alone. I have Monkey too, so you can't stay in bed. He's 3, so he needs to eat, he needs snacks, he needs to play, so you get up. And so I think that's what helps me the most to get out of everything, is having something to look forward to.
It's amazing what a motivator can do for you in terms of doing things that you didn't think you could accomplish. And it warms my heart, honestly, to see you back on the scene and doing what you love to do, because honestly, I can't imagine the independent community without you. Like, I couldn't.
Thank you, JT. Well, they say it takes a village. I'm not going to lie, the NYXUS podcast wasn't owned to just mine.
No.
Okay, I'm the creator, I'm the, but I had a full team behind me. Matt, Britt, Amy. Amy took on a lot of episodes too. And when she had to step back for her own self, that was when it hit really hard. Because I wasn't expecting her to go. and I understood why she had to go. Like, it's, you know what I mean, mental health and taking care of yourself and your family is number one. So it just, I panicked. And that's when I said, oh shit, I have to do all these episodes. All the episodes that she had booked, all my episodes, we put it in the calendar, and it added up that I never had a break, basically. I did it for a while. And then after that, that's when you saw me take a break. And I was like, I'm going to take like a week or two and I'll be back, you know, so.
Well, I don't want to, you know, touch on it too much, but I know the anxieties that I feel, and I couldn't imagine the workload that you were looking at, because like you said, you didn't have any foreseeable time off. And again, I'm not discrediting what we do at all, but it is all free for profit, and it's all a passion project. And I'm not trying to sound greedy or anything, but you would understand this too, where it becomes a mental taxation where you're just, you, like I said earlier, you're wanting to give your best, but at the same time you're being torn in so many directions, because you're giving what you can to this project, but part of your family life is suffering, or you're giving a part of yourself to the family, and then your creative endeavors have fallen down because there's no, you know, division, like there's no dividing of it.
And then add social media to that. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, I'll see if this might be a little bit better for her. I know I'm having a little bit of internet troubles, and Facebook did not want to connect tonight, so of course.
Oh yeah, Facebook always, you know what I mean, like, I mean, we're not going to start talking trash, but, you know, everybody knows my opinion on social media, which is what I was going to talk now. What you said, and then add social media. Add the, oh shit, my stats are dropping, but I posted 3 times more than I did last week. Why isn't anybody watching my video? Why is this person having so many reaction on this stupid post when I'm trying to boost a band and nobody's fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep, all too well.
And then you post a post like, oh, people share your music, but nobody's listening to nobody. Everybody's just putting their links. Nobody's reacting to your post. They're just, like, I think social media is making people numb, making people just like robots. And I think people, like even me, scroll, never react to nothing. Like, why? Like, heart react to something. We you know, you laugh at it. Like,
yeah.
Engage with people.
It sucks because you were around for, you know, and I'm not putting shots on anybody or anything like that, but the OG kind of like the independent community where it started, where we were raising all the ships, right? Like, because one time raises all the ships, and then it became this numbers game. Yeah. And everybody, like you said, they suddenly just started dropping their links on everything. Like, I can log on to my page, I got 200 notifications, and not a single one has anything to do with the content that I'm creating. And
nope.
I love seeing everybody's content. I have been called out so many times for saying that, you know, I'm not a supporter or anything like that. I love seeing their music, their videos, whatever they're making. But holy hell, react. Like, do something to help me out in the algorithm as well. I'm not trying to sound selfish, but same with you. Like, you know, you need that boost as well. Because if not, we're all buried.
Well, that's why I say community. You know what I mean? It was what it was at first. I mean, there's still some community. I'm not part of it. I kind of left everything and pushed a little more locally because I kind of mattered more. It seemed like I make more of an impact here locally than I did trying to push everybody online. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm torn, you know. I want to keep supporting people, but why? I'm gonna say straight up, JT. I you know, I usually sugarcoat my answers. I try to, you know, but I'm just gonna say it straight up. Yeah. Why the fuck am I supporting you if you ain't supporting me? Never. Never.
Yep.
Only when maybe there's drama. Only when you see that, oh, maybe I'm upset. Oh, what's going on? Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you didn't care yesterday when, I don't know, I was happy because, you know, my podcast is doing well. And I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound like somebody that's not appreciative. I appreciate everybody that comes to the podcast, whether it's for 2 seconds to say hi, just to come and follow the band. It's not even about me at this point. It's about the band. I just want to get these bands out there. We enjoy them. I mean, we're making so many memories with these bands. We got to meet, Lanaday. We got to meet Waking the Sleeper.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
they're from Kansas.
Right?
When's the next time I'm going to get to see them? I got to see the Almas. I fucking love the Almas. And I got to see them here at the Rooster because they came down on tour. I mean, this is my community now. And I don't mean any, it's not to be mean towards nobody. I'm glad to see that people are still supporting themselves. See, supporting themselves. Like I'm trying to be nice, and I can't even. It's like high school. I'm gonna say it. It's social media is like high school. So I kind of took a step away. I post my stuff. I like other people's stuff, but I don't take it at heart anymore. I don't compare myself to somebody else anymore. I think that's the biggest issue, is we kind of all get the diva syndrome at one point. It's, wow, I'm better. Why my content? No. Her content is working better. His content is working better for him. Good for them.
Yeah.
Trying to lift each other up.
I always say, like, the greatest thing about social media is anybody can have social media, but the worst thing about social media is anybody can have it. So
Exactly.
It's just a mixed bag.
Exactly, and you can have many accounts,
Yeah.
And I mean, you could try to block all of them, but sometimes you just can't block all of them. It's crazy. I love social media, and I hate social media. I mean, it brought a lot of good people in my life. If it wasn't for internet, the app, I wouldn't have met Manda, because we met on that singing app. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met Anger Overdose, who was there from the beginning. You know what I mean? It's all those people. Keith from Nightfall. I mean, I have the Fear podcast with him now.
Yes. Shout out to the Fear podcast. I was getting ready to mention that. I mean, the woman over here doesn't know when to quit. Like, she's just constantly expanding over here.
I mean, it's the guy's fault. Nah, I'm not taking the blame on this one. Mark and Keith, your fault. I did the Halloween special, right?
Mm-hmm.
I invited Mark. I found the Hathaway House of Horror just by scrolling on Facebook one day. I wrote horror, and I found him, and I was like, he does movie reviews. You want to come talk? And he was like, fuck yeah. So, and then Keith was in the comments, and they kept talking to each other, and I was like, well, Keith, you just want to come in? He was like, okay. And that's it. I created a bromance. But now I have another female host with me, which is Scarlett, Keith's daughter. So I think she's 8 years old, 9 years old. I don't remember. I don't remember age. Man, she educated us on Chucky. She educated us on The Conjuring. Like, asking questions that even Mark was like, I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, dude, you're the expert.
Man.
You're the expert.
I know I've caught a couple episodes of it, and I love it. My favorite episode was the My Bloody Valentine one. I absolutely love that movie, so I enjoyed the hell out of that. Anybody who's watching, be sure to check out the Fear podcast. So
those guys, though, the movies they make me watch sometimes, JT, I got mad at them. Last time I was like, okay, we're choosing the movies now, so it's zombie themed on June 15th.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting.
What was the last movie they had you watch, if you can say?
The last one they had me watched, what was it? Was Chucky, April Fools, those movies. It's when they make me watch like 1978, 1984 movies. Some of them I'm like, guys, come on. I know the first one we reviewed was Alien when we started the Fear podcast. And now I didn't watch, was it Event Horizon?
Oh, Event Horizon?
Yeah, so we're supposed to make a whole stream of my reaction watching the movie.
I hope you enjoy that movie. I thoroughly enjoy that movie.
I mean, the guys too, that's why they want to stream it. And I'm like, okay, let's do a reaction video. And then I'm like, God, come on, guys. Speaking of reaction video, I saw you. You guys are doing reaction videos now?
Yeah. I got linked up with my bandmate in Killbait Overdose, Nathan, and he's been on YouTube for well over 10 years now. And he brought me into the fold, and he's been willing to help me grow my channel as well by helping me do these reaction videos through Renegade Reacts and Renegade Records and Six Scars Reacts. I can't thank him enough. It's been an absolute blast because like he's a metalhead, but not as much as I am. So he's a bit more of a hip hop head, or different things. So he's showing me some stuff, and I'm just giving my honest opinion. We have a chart called the Metal as Fuck chart, and it's just a grading system, basically all of how we think of things, and it's really cool. It's actually liberating to be like, well, I didn't really care for this. Like he showed me Tyler the Creator for the first time, and I was like, it's good, but it's not something I would put on. Yeah, and it's cool to have that honesty, like. So I'm excited to see your honesty with the movies.
Well, you need to be honest. You can't be like, you like everything. Oh, I'm brutally honest with the movies, and I'm like, okay, unpopular opinion. I didn't like The Conjuring. Everybody's like, oh, and I'm like, well, I didn't like it. I'm sorry, guys. Like, my kid earlier, Sophie was like, well, I didn't like The Shining. Okay. That's brutal honest. Brutal honest.
That's what
I mean, she was like, very unpopular opinion. I was like, yeah, but good for you, Yeah. It sucks to watch somebody that does reactions and they're always like, yay, this is so good. You can't like everything.
No.
Did you see Alex Terrible reacting to Sleep Token?
Yes.
See, this I would watch constantly.
Give me any kind of reaction with Alex Terrible, and I am sold for an entire evening. Just put it on repeat.
Same. I mean, this guy is so funny. I want to ask you a question. We're talking about Alex Terrible. We're talking about music. What do you think of Ronnie Radke?
So, this is interesting because nobody's ever asked me this on that. I feel like Ronnie Radke is a hell of a musician. I have followed Ronnie since his early Escape the Fate days, before he was incarcerated. And I remember seeing that story get blown out of proportion to begin with. And then he did the comeback with Falling in Reverse, and I was a big fan of Falling in Reverse for the last, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years when they started putting out music. Yeah. The last album, I'll say this. He is exploring things creatively that I wouldn't think to do. I absolutely adored The Drug in Me Is You Reimagined. The piano, his high notes on that are beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can fault the man for some of his opinions or whatever. You cannot take away the fact that the dude is talented.
To be honest, like, whatever he do, somebody's gonna shit on him. So, I mean, he, might as well. You want me to be the villain, I'll just be the villain. I mean, he plays it well, so and it's making him a lot of money.
I mean, like, the dude is living the best life right now and shitting on people that troll him. Like, I mean, that's a pretty ideal life. He's like, I'm gonna cry with money in my eyes, basically.
Right. Did you hear his latest song, Ronald?
Yes, and I really wanted to enjoy it. I just I didn't care for it.
I loved it.
Did you? See?
We with the video and everything, all the extra ahs that he adds, like it works with the video. I mean, and Tech Nine, Alex Terrible. I mean, when you see Alex Terrible come up there at the end as the big devil dude, I was like, oh, Ronnie, you're about to get rocked.
Did you catch in the video right before they showed the big demon? It's Alex's mask is going into the lava.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you'll have to freeze frame it, but I caught it. I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
It's incredible. I like that one. I like the fact that they were all together. Then they did the show, and they have burned from the pyrotechnics. They were burnt up like crazy. He stopped the song 3 times because they were like, okay, stop 2 seconds. I'm burning. I was fucking metal. I was like, dude.
So
fuck.
I can already tell you that you and me could go for hours having a conversation just because we've done it before through Messenger and things like that, and this is so much fun. But I know we also got to touch on a few more subjects. Damn it! So take me back to what were some of your earlier inspirations. Like, what were the bands that really got you into it?
I mean, into music, like if I bring you back, there's going to be some people that you don't even know who I'm talking about because French Canadian, right?
Yeah.
My biggest inspiration, I mean, we can't hide it, is Celine Dion. I
Respect.
come from not too far away from where she was born. I have the same accent. Mine is getting a little less thick because I've been down here, so it's getting better. But Celine Dion has always been a big inspiration for me because she came from nothing. And then she, you know what I mean? Now she can't sing anymore because of a condition that she has. So that's, that's pretty sad. I was raised with old Kiss, old, rock music. I was raised with my mama listening to Culture Club and Cyndi Lauper and Madonna. Wow. And so I'm a big mix of a lot of music. I think the first rock band really that I fell in love with was Evanescence. I think Amy Lee is where Pat Benatar and, the older bands, but Amy Lee is where it really, oh wow, I could sing like that, wow, this is crazy. And that's where I really, really wanted to sing. Before that, I was doing, my friends were hip-hop artists, mostly, so, I do little oohs and ahs and little, little parts in their songs, but then I found Evanescence, and that's it. Lacuna Coil and Nightwish and Kitty, and that's it.
I love Kitty so much, and don't take that out of context, you two. My God, the band. I love the band so much.
Did you see? They're coming back with an album. They have 2 songs out right now. Man, I can't wait.
That was actually on the Reaction channel. It was one of our requests. So we have that one in the pipeline to come out. So that one was really fun. So obviously with Evanescence and Lacuna Coil being some of your bigger inspirations, what was it like transitioning from, okay, I want to do vocals to I want to do my own music?
I mean, that was kind of it was a luck. Sorry, I was on that singing app, and a friend of mine, Sherry, was singing with Andy from Crossover, and they were looking for a featured singer. So he was like, "Hey, you want to come do some vocals?" My friend Sherry is very good at screams, very, you know what I mean. So he was like, "I'll do more heavy, and I need can you write with me and we'll do something cool." This was right before COVID. So I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Now, my friend Sherry lives in Pakistan. Andy and Javier, well, Javier wasn't with us back then, was a guy named Nick. They both live here in West Virginia, and I was in Canada. So we were making music like that. So we did a song, I featured with them, and the guys liked my voice, and he asked me if I would do more songs with him, because him and his wife wrote a whole shitload of fucking songs. So we had a whole shitload of songs ready. I just had to push my voice on it. So it was easy. It was fast, you know? And then I got to write my own song. And that's, you know, that's really where I was like, I want to do this. I have things to say. I wrote this song for a contest on that singing app. And I wrote it for Amanda. And then we redid it. And then it got redone with a later producer who made it a whole story. Like the rain falls at the beginning, and it's a whole storybook. Like we had a whole vision for a video, we had everything, and then unfortunately it crashed. So nothing got done. Well, I mean, this got done.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the song I wrote for Amanda, so
yeah, that's what matters.
I mean, we'll eventually get it probably redone. I mean, I own the rights to that one, so I can get it redone whenever I want. So that's something to work on later on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of projects. There's the project with you, the song with Rob. Amanda and I are gonna do a bunch of covers. I have Anger Overdose. We want to do something, me and the Angry Man, the Zombie Man together.
Yeah.
You know, I've been talking with a lot of people, so it's that's just to get the ball rolling. And you know how that is, trying to find time.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I think we should allow the people to hear a little bit of what we've been working on.
Absolutely.
This is in a raw demo form. It's still the same one that I actually sent Mel a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Life has been kicking me in the head repeatedly, just not been able to get time to actually, you know, polish it up. But it's not a turd. It doesn't need to be polished or anything like that. But me and her have been working on this for, I think, oh my gosh, quite a while.
Wow, yes.
Because I wrote this when I was still living with my parents. And then, oddly enough, on the podcast that you did with me, I even mentioned that I was working on the retro wave track. And that was all the way in March of last year. So to see it come this way is really cool. There's not an exact date on it yet, guys, but me and her have been working.
We're not rushing it. We're not rushing it. When it comes out, it's going to be perfect.
Yes. If you guys know anything about Six Scars, I like to take my time.
Same. So, I mean, we're two procrastinators and overachievers. And so, I mean, works great.
So, also, now is a perfect time to mention I also have another surprise in store for Melanie.
Oh.
She has no idea about this one. So after we roll this demo, I'm going to ask you a little bit about it, and then I have another surprise for you, okay?
All right.
All right.
Can't wait.
I cannot wait. It it blows my mind when I think of how long it's taken for us to get that shit rolling.
I mean, Rob feels it too. I mean, if he sees this episode, he's gonna be like, "Well, at least you got vocals." Poor guy, poor guy. But I'm excited though. The song with Rob, I'm actually going to be going to his home studio.
Oh,
So, you know, I get the treatment to be tracked by somebody else and not tracking myself. And so it's, you know.
that's gonna
But
be fun.
Apathy Machine was just crazy to work on. Some of the vocabulary in that song had me really, really working that French accent, trying to mold it, and you can still hear it. And I mean, I tried and I tried and I tried, and Amanda was like, "I don't know why you keep trying." She said, "That's just you. That's just, you know." She's like, "Stop trying to change it." So I can't wait to hear, like, once we're finished with it.
I remember when you sent me the vocals, and I was blown away. That beginning harmony that you hit when you're saying "Apathy Machine," I tried matching that, and I was like, "Well, fuck me."
That's something I've discovered lately. Why? I mean, I got it really bad. I got COVID, and I got it really bad. I think I'm still like, I'm not fully recovered, and it's been like 6 months. Um, and after I got COVID, my range shot. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go low. My lower tones were getting better. My higher, and now I can reach so high. Like, I surprised myself. If you watch on my TikTok, me and Manda were live the other night, and we were singing a song, and I hit a note, and she literally stops me from singing. I'm giggling because she's out of camera range, but she's looking at me like, and I'm like, you know, like, so it's just a lot of work. So if anybody is like working at it and doesn't feel like they're getting anywhere, keep working. Just keep
Absolutely.
working. By the way, the feed is not working on Facebook. So
I know. I know.
if you're wondering, I was like, no, that's too weird. I went to look and I was like, no, it's not on Facebook. We'll just share it later.
Yeah, I noticed that when we first started, and it's like it's been telling me this entire time. I'm like, well, God bless, man. Like, because there's been no viewers. I was like, well, that's why.
Yeah, Facebook does that a bunch of times. It happens on the podcast too. The joys
hate
of
it,
going
though.
live.
Yeah, I prefer it though. I think it's more for me. It's more entertaining just because I'm more on the fly, and
Yes.
I love getting to kind of sharpen my improvisation. So
I don't like editing.
no, fuck editing.
That's why I like to go live. I don't like editing. I mean,
So I got to ask you because I've never gotten to ask this to anybody. What was it like recording vocals for Apathy Machine?
I mean, it was crazy because I've been a big fan of yours since Better Off Dead. You and Seed killed that one, and I can't wait to hear you guys' song coming up there. I mean, he talked about it on the show, and no, I haven't heard it, guys.
No.
Nobody shared it to me. It's gonna be a total, and I think I'm gonna do a reaction video because I remember getting Better Off Dead when I did NYXUS Radio, and me and Mando were rocking the shit out of that song in the car. Loved it. So just when we talked about doing a song together, I was like, this is really cool. But then it's like you have such your own way of wording things, where you pause, where you, and that's why I sent you the audio, and I was like, well, I could fix it, you know what I mean? I could fix it to work, like to match yours, and you were like, don't worry about it, you know.
Yeah.
Mine's just a rough draft, was just to show you how we were doing it, you know. So and I'm like, well, I didn't do enough, maybe I should have done more harms, maybe I should have went higher. So yeah, you got me all nervous on this one, Mr. JT. So
I wasn't trying to. I was like, I was excited to get you on the track.
listen, I'm super excited about it. I'm happy that we're gonna get to have a track together.
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy. I know Manda can't wait to work on something with. That's gonna be that. I can't wait. I told her. I said, when you work with JT though, just have patience. It will eventually come. I said, but he's like me, and she was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's like she's been waiting for me, I think, for 3 months, 2 months and a half at least, to work out the song on the next cover that we're putting out for her. Everything's recorded. I just have to work out the song, and I'm just too busy. Too busy.
For me, it's been being busy, and then obviously where, I purchase instrumentals, they ain't cheap. So I've been kind of,
I know.
I remember when you sent me the vocals, and I loved the way that you did the verses, because you made it your own. And that's what I wanted. I wanted you to do it how you wanted to, because I wanted to see what vision you could come up with. And I went based off of your vision. And it enhances it, in my opinion. It makes it more alive. It gives it more depth, in my opinion. It gives it more ambience, if you will.
Yes.
And I mean, I know it's been a long time in the making, and I promise this track will be released. But I just, from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to tell you thank you. And like I said, I do have another surprise for you. It does suck that this isn't on Facebook. However, you said you were going to do a reaction to it, but in the reaction video, you might have to skip at least the first 35 seconds.
Ooh. Do I get to hear it?
This is my way of saying thank you for everything that you have done. Not just for Six Scars, but you've talked to me at times when I really, really needed somebody, and you continue to do that as well. I can't say enough good things about you or Manda or your family, and how much I wish you all nothing but the best with the podcast, with everything you got going on, and any future endeavors that you might have going on down the line. So my dear friend, this is for you.
Lost in my head with a fucked up game of survival of their downfall. Can I live through all this pain? Walls are getting closer. Can I reinvent myself, or will I end up all the same? Without a face, without a name, without a place to hang my shit. Sever the ties that help me kill a moral mindset. Burdening the world with this unholy detriment. Anxiety, dysmorphia, a phasm, agoraphobia, a paroxysm of rage. I'm lost in a
I hear it, because Seed talked about it on the podcast, and he was saying, he kind of took a softer approach to it almost, because the way your singing style and your and then he was like, and then JT came in and he was like more aggressive with it, he's like, so, and I hear it. Oh man, I appreciate that. And that was a tease though, JT.
Yep.
You're a big tease.
Yes. Well, I mean, it drops this week. I mean, it's not like you guys got to wait too terribly long.
That's long, guys. That's too long. I mean, we'll do a countdown. To the song. I guess that's what we're going to have to do. But I appreciate it, JT. I appreciate everything you said, too. You are one of the good ones. You're one of the real ones. I mean, we talk, everybody sees Six Scars and then MelanyNyx, and but we go deeper than that. We're there for each other, and I appreciate it. I don't think there's enough people that actually care in this world. So thank you for being one of the ones that care.
I only care because, well, not I only care, but I care because you took a chance on me first. Like I said, you found me when Better Off Dead was releasing, and like we talked, I mean, that was a bad time. that was a bad time in my life personally, and we ended up cultivating a friendship through that podcast episode.
I think the first episode you were on was a mental health week.
Yeah.
And then we had the Six Scars episode, yeah.
And talk about the precursor to this whole podcast was the mental health episode. That's kind of when the gears started going, and I was like, I don't think I have the confidence to do it though, da-da-da-da-da. And then I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I don't succeed. Okay. I mean, at least I tried.
Yep, but, exactly.
And I owe that to you. In all transparency, you have broken down a lot of borders for me personally that I've kind of followed in the footsteps of, because it's like you're doing this almost in the same fashion that I am, where it is free for profit, and we're trying to get guests on so we can get their exposure and get their insight and help feed the world what they see. And I kind of use you as like a cheat book.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't gatekeep either. So if you need guests, if you need people, I mean, I have over 100 episodes. You know what I mean? There's people out there too. I mean, Sarah Tester, my co-host, that comes in on the NYXUS podcast, brings in a bunch of band. I have a guy called Benjamin for online metal promotion. I just text him and I tell him tomorrow 7 p.m. and he got me a band tomorrow 7 p.m. I mean, same night cancellation, no problem. I get you somebody. You just have to keep doing and just make those connections. I saw that you made a good connection with Missy. Missy is really good with creative music management. She'll bring you some bands. She's in their bands that I might be biased because they're from here. I love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to give a plug for the band that I'm a part of as well, Killbait Overdose, because we definitely want to get down to North Carolina. And as soon as I do, I am giving both you and Manda a hug.
We'll be there for sure. For sure we'll be there.
It's I got to meet Danny at the Cursed Loot Bar Fest that last time, but I have not gotten to meet you all, and man, that would make my night.
We'll make it. We'll make it there at one point. I mean, around you, there's a bunch of bands that want me to come up, so we might even meet up around where you are, because a lot of bands are like, well, we have shows, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to make it to Pittsburgh, and
Well, I mean, I'm not that far away, and I mean, if you guys want to get some free tickets from me, like, I'd gladly pay for you to come to the show.
The hotel stays are we're living the rock and roll life, the metal life. Cheapest hotel. The bed is not comfortable. We're not really sleeping, but you just need a place to crash before you leave in the morning.
Oh yeah.
We've done it twice so far this year, so. Okay,
how are you managing it? Because my back would be hurting.
I mean, one of them, I don't even know if I moshed the whole day in the mosh pit. And I suffered for like 3 weeks. Mosh pit and a shitty hotel bed was not a good idea. We had some fun. We spent a lot of money. Now we kind of we had to skip yesterday's Rooster Olympic. Next one will probably be Brewstock. I have media passes to cover photography. Our oldest decided that she's going to do color guard next year, so.
Oh, okay.
That's it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yay! No, I encourage. I'm such an asshole. I encourage her. I always encouraged her to start doing something. So it's a pleasure for us that she actually decided to do something and not just like,
Now, do any of them, this is off topic, but do any of them take after the music? Like the Bug?
Well, the oldest one was in band. So she was doing percussion. I have a drum set in the building back there for her. She wants to do color guard. It doesn't stop her from keep playing drums if she wants to, and so we'll see what she has time. The 3-year-old likes to slap on my bass, so I'm kind of hoping maybe he'll be a bassist. And the middle child is afraid to sing in front of anybody. She's very shy, so we'll see. Maybe she'll one day,
I was gonna say I used to be afraid to sing in front of anybody, and now I won't shut up. So I mean, you never know.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I know we're coming up on time, and I would definitely want to be very mindful of your time, and I want to thank you again just for doing this. I tell all my guests this, that I could talk to them forever, but I truly mean that with you. You and me have formed a connection deeper than music, and I treasure it. And I hope you know that anything you do, I will always support it. I know I'm not always the best to get on and catch them all, but I try.
You're there. You still comment. You come in. You say hi. Same thing for me. We have lives. We have, it's life gets busy. Sometimes I just completely forget, and it's like 7:30, and I'm like, God damn it, and then I come in late. It's life is busy. Life is just crazy. I don't think we have to hold the bar that high for people.
No.
If you come in once in a while, you say hi, you support, you share. I mean, life is crazy.
Yeah. I completely agree. So what is next for you?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, the photography is picking up. It's nothing professional. Like I said, I didn't take any classes. It's just something that I like to do. Hey, it gets me in some shows for free. And then I get to take kick-ass pictures of bands. And I love it. Editing is a pain in the ass, but it's whatever. Podcast. We're booked till July. So, I mean, I'd have to make a little push now to get some more, to keep booking. But I'm hoping to see my mom sometime in September. So I'm kind of like not pushing too much to book, because if my mom is here, I'm going to soak all that time in. But I don't know. I don't know what's next. Music, podcast, wherever this road leads me, JT.
Well, I know wherever it leads you, it makes me happy to see the smile on your face. I will forever follow you no matter what you're doing. I will support you. Any kind of plug that you need, it does not matter. I have one last question for you. Well, two technically. You have the NYXUS question, right? It's always, if you could talk to yourself when you were younger, what would you tell them? I'm going to do a version of that, but did you ever see it being this good?
No. It was just something to do something. My mental health was really bad when we started the whole podcast thing. And it was something that 1 episode a month was supposed to be. Just to give me something to do. And it wasn't live, so I had to edit everything. So it was really time consuming, and it kept me busy. And then 2 months down the road, it was 2 episodes a week. So really early on, I saw that what the hell is happening. Now to see where we're at, how many people we've helped, how many people came into the team and unfortunately had to leave. It hurt. And I don't hold it against anybody, because you turn left, people turn right. I mean, that's just how life goes. I'm just glad that there was never any bad falling out with nobody. I mean, a year and almost 6 months, touch some wood somewhere. Nothing bad. All good. All good.
I'm getting emotional over here just because you all mean the world to me. You really do. And to see everything that you've had to overcome, somewhat behind the scenes and then in front of the camera as well. It's it's been a hell of a journey now.
Yes, trust me. Go watch the end of the 100th episode there, and Manda has me bawling like a baby. You know, she's telling everybody blood, sweat, tears, a lot of tears. I've cried a lot for this podcast, and I know I'm gonna keep crying because I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I don't feel like I'm, but that's just the mental health, right? That's just the. So some days I'm not doing enough. Some days I'm doing more than, and I'm really happy. I mean, if I'm happy 90% of the times, I did something good.
That's all that matters, and you are cherished. You really are. I hope you never forget that. And just like I'll always tell everybody, you know, if you ever need anything, please reach out. And I don't mean music wise. I don't mean podcast wise. I mean just, you know, if you ever need anything, just reach out. Um, we've been all over the place tonight, Mel. I knew we would be. So the last question for you is, you went beyond the breakdown with 6 scars tonight. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like it was a long time coming. I mean, like I told you before we started this, I haven't been on this side in over 2 years. And it's different. It's not, hey, what was your song about? You know, I knew we'd go in deep, but not too deep. I mean, we could probably, like you said, probably talk another 3-4 hours. And because I'm open to, you know, like you said, you don't want to pick too much on what happened back there, but I'm open to talking about it now, and
Okay.
I'm actually thinking of maybe having an episode. So maybe you could come on the NYXUS podcast and, you know, come pick my brain there, and
I would love that.
I want to open it like an open book because I think it could help people.
Yeah.
I've grown a lot. I know when to say no now. I know when to back away before it takes a piece of me. So we'll leave it there, but there's a lot deeper shit to go into.
Yes, there is. Well, Mel, I hope you have such a wonderful night. And when Manda gets home, tell her I said hello, give her all my love, and I hope you and the family just have a great Memorial Day.
I mean, Rocky Horror Picture Show with my oldest tonight. Manda's working till 2 o'clock in the morning, so we're gonna be doing some food, some snacks, and some we watched Repo the Genetic Opera earlier.
Hydrate.
Yes.
In a little glass vial.
A little glass vial. Yes. Oh man, we should cover that song, me and you. Seriously, we should fucking cover that song. I was looking at her the whole time like, is she liking this? And she loves musicals, so she was like, it's different, you know. Her favorite's like Hamilton. She was like, you know, it's very different, but she was like, it's, you know, it's. I'm glad I watched it. I mean, I said, well, you're part of a very niche group because it's not a very, you know, well known. So tonight is Rocky Horror because she was like, I've never seen it, and I was like, you uncultured.
Do the Time Warp.
Right? We're going to do that tonight. But you have a podcast again tonight.
I do. And it's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you again, Mel.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to come on, let me know. I will clear the fucking schedule.
Anytime you want me here, I'll be here. I love you, JT. Like, it's mad respect for you, for everything you do. It made me smile when I saw you made a podcast. I was like, all right, there we go.
Well, all your advice is what the culmination of this is. So, you know, a lot of people owe you if they enjoy my brand of craziness.
Well, I mean, come keep picking my brain. There's plenty of useless and very good knowledge. I mean, there's both in there.
Well, with that being said, then, Mel, I will see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, JT. Bye.
I saw that.
Bye.
Everybody, that was MelanyNyx. I can't thank her enough. It was just such a privilege having her on, getting to talk to her and pick her brain a little bit about what her experience has been like. And, you know, get to see what things were like from her perspective and dealing with things that not a whole lot of people have known that she's dealt with. Thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere that you wanted to be tonight, but if you are listening to this, I appreciate you. And until next time, be well and take care of each other.